Tyler.
Hey, I'm Joey.
And this is Less Than Stellar.
This is a movie review podcast / YouTube show of old movies, new movies, mostly movies we care about, not so much what you care about, but that's okay.
That it is, because we're going to sit here and debate it, and well, you're going to join in on the fun with us.
The whole point of this podcast is to basically give us an avenue to just talk shit about movies that we do on a regular basis anyway. Now we're just going to put it on video for you 5 or 6 people that are going to watch.
So you can either join in on the debate, laugh at us, or learn a little bit of something.
Probably not to learn a little bit, but you may learn something.
The kids may know, okay? They might learn what a Mandalorian is.
That is a good point, and we'll touch on that later.
Into a podcast, so...
Yeah, we both listen to a good bit of podcasts, and we understand that we're not going to be on the big-time levels, things like that, but we just do this for fun. This is going to be a fun experience, right? We're going to have fun.
Yeah, we're going to have
This
fun.
is going to be fun.
We're going to have fun.
We're going to have so much fun.
So we're gonna have fun doing this. You'll probably see us getting a lot of heated debate, especially when we do a Star Wars video, which will take a while because I think that's probably
That's our big one.
Biggest one. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Love it.
Yep.
Live it, breathe it. Talk about it at least once a day. No
Absolutely.
lie. John Williams, favorite artist.
Thank you very much.
Favorite actor. Hayden Christensen.
Okay,
Maybe
let's
not.
fucking
Maybe
back
not.
up. Hold on. You know what? We'll save that for next time. See, that's the kind of debate you're going to get here.
Exactly. So, just a little bit about us. We're both in our 20s, you know. I kind of fell in love with movies. Really, actually, watching Star Wars when I was a kid. It brought you to a whole nother world where there was magic, space wizards, lightsabers.
Space wizards.
Hey, that's what people call them, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, let's be real, they're Jedis.
They're
They're like Tibetan monks, though.
They're literally space wizards.
Exactly.
That is like the basic definition of a Jedi, space wizard.
So, really, but that's when I fell in love with it. And obviously, Steven Spielberg, one of the best directors of all time, Jurassic Park, scared the ever-living poo out of me. I don't know. Are we allowed to?
I've cursed a few times.
Okay, so they scared the ever-living shit out of me. Let's be real here, kids. So
let's be real, kids. By the way, our target audience is 12. Thank you very much for watching.
We're shooting for a PG rating, not a PG-13. We're going to try to keep it young for the adults. So, really, just
all right.
I can't wait to go on this journey with you guys. Joey, tell them a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about Tyler and I. We met about 3 years ago, and right away, you know, he says it all the time. Right away, we knew we were going to be best buddies because we talked about Star Wars for about 15 minutes. The first time we ever met in person, which was awesome. So I mean, he was a groomsman at our wedding.
I'd like to point out that I stumped him on a trivia question. First off,
this is true, and I think about it every day, and I will never forget the answer to that question, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But regardless, you know, we've been friends for a few years now, and you know, it's a good friendship because half the time we're talking about either sports, movies, or sports. That's about it. We literally keep it pretty simple.
I just want to go ahead and let you guys know, we're gigantic movie fans, obviously. But also, as I'm sure you can well see, we are huge sports fans. Joey's a Duke fan, unfortunately. I'm Virginia. So if we ever get off on that kind of Virginia Tech, I just want to make that very clear, not Virginia.
Thank you. Duke Blue Devils.
So if we ever get off on a sports team, bear with us. We'll get back to movies momentarily.
Yep.
You know, we're just going to kind of keep this format very loose-fitting.
Yep. Loose-fitting. Weird way of wording that. We're going to keep this format loose-fitting. Like a nice pair of fucking socks.
Like a nice pair of slacks.
We're gonna think of this podcast video thing as a loose pair of socks. Your favorite pair of loose socks.
Now, having said all that, just to kind of give you guys a heads up of where we're going, we're going to actually, I believe we decided on our first movie, or movies, whatever you really want to say. It's going to be the Matrix trilogy.
Yes. And the kind of the whole premise of us wanting to do this is we both, as much as we'd love to just talk about movies generally, you know, he's got a set of movies that he really loves. I've got a set of movies that I really, really, really love. And this is a perfect example. I understand that The Matrix is not everybody's favorite movie trilogy, I should say. Everybody loves the first one, but not the last two. But for me, I love the whole world. I love the whole universe and everything. And this guy has not even seen the first one. So it's going to be an interesting debate because we've been talking about this for weeks. And I'm actually excited to see what opinions he has on the movies, seeing them for the first time. And I literally watched it I think the first time when I was in second grade. So I've been forming this opinion for a long time. So I'm very interested to see where he comes in on this.
I'm excited, really, just now. Actually, it's a movie trilogy I've been needing to see for a while. I've been wanting to see it. Now I finally, have some motivation to actually sit down and watch it.
Yep.
Just because with our schedules, we're always so busy, so I don't always get to see the movies I want to watch.
Yep.
So this is kind of giving me a chance to watch movies obviously I haven't seen or, haven't seen in a long time. To finally sit back down and watch them, but this time from a different point of view.
Yeah, and considering his as much as I love movies, and I mean, we're doing this podcast show for a reason, but he's got a really big wealth of knowledge when it comes to movies and, actors and directors, and a little bit larger than mine, which is surprising. It's interesting that he's totally going to be fresh on the Matrix side of it. So I'm very, very excited about that side of it. And eventually we will get to, some of your favorites that I've never seen.
Yeah, like one of my favorite movies, and I think it's just because I watched it as a kid all the time, is The Princess Bride. I don't believe you've seen that? No.
So not in my life. And you've talked about it
we're going to introduce him to some ROUSs. So you'll figure out what those are later.
I will catch
just
a
not
reference.
Smile. Yep. So
I'm in the
now...
reference.
After The Matrix, we have a few movies that we want to do.
Yep.
We haven't really decided the order. The only one we have set in stone is The Matrix, and that was just because, I liked and he liked that kind of contrasting view of seeing them multiple times, haven't seen them. So a couple other things we've been looking at is the Spider-Man franchise as a whole. So the Sam Raimi franchise.
Is that the Tobey one?
Yeah, those are the Tobey Maguire ones.
Tobey, undefeated. Tobey Maguire.
So
Except for Spider-Man 3.
Amazing
that
Spider-Man
did not exist.
2. Yeah, I like to believe Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't happen either. But hey, we're going to talk about it.
And Andrew Garfield, if you're watching out there, I doubt it, but if you're watching, I literally have not even wasted my time watching that piece of shit movie. The two of them. Continue, I'm sorry. I had to say that.
So let's be real. Andrew Garfield's definitely watching.
Big time.
So,
we have huge reach, Mom.
But also the Tom Holland ones, obviously. Also, we're going to do Lord of the Rings. Those are just fantastic films to begin with, so I cannot wait to sit back down for those 12 hours and watch one movie.
Yeah.
And then, 12 hours the next and the next and the next.
And as we referenced earlier, we one of the first times we met, we talked about Star Wars for a little while. That's going to be a big one for us. So, that'll be probably something we spread out just because of the the length of time between movies when they came out, the storylines we've got to cover, and our insanely giant views on each of them. I mean, I've recently been rewatching them. I keep reconsidering everything I've thought about half of them. So it'll be fun.
I think you said it best the other day when we were on the phone. We could debate the first 30 minutes of episode 1 for an hour and a half.
Yes.
So those videos are definitely, and probably the way we're going to break them down is going to be very easy. It's going to be prequels, original trilogy, Disney era.
Yep.
And then having said the Disney era, we'll probably spin off the spin-offs.
Yeah.
To their own separate things. So like Solo, Rogue One, and isn't there another one? No, it's just Solo and Rogue One right now because Disney, I'm looking at you. I want an Obi-Wan movie.
Walt Disney from the grave, I know you hear me. What have your people done? That's all I'm saying. We'll get to that. Let's
Jedi. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to face the ire.
No, see, we just spent 5 minutes. Okay, maybe not that long. We just spent 2 minutes describing Star Wars. So if you're interested in this, clearly we'll talk a lot about Star Wars. I'm
excited, guys. One other franchise we're going to cover. One I'm not big into. I know my sister was, and I believe you actually mentioned earlier that you were. Is The Mummy.
Oh, yes, I love The Mummy. I've been watching The Mummy. The Mummy 1 and 2, I actually have a very similar opinion on The Mummy as I do The Matrix and Rush Hour and quite a few.
Mummy number 3.
Yeah, Mummy number 3 is bad, I'll admit. But I understand that Mummy 1, so good. I've watched it for a long time. Mummy 2, not very good. A lot of people say that. I don't care. I love that universe. I love Brendan Fraser. That's all I got to say right now. We'll get to that later.
Brendan Fraser is the man.
Yes, he is. Thank you very much.
So yeah, and guys, I'm excited. I'm excited to be starting this and just being able to discuss movies with my friend and bring everybody else into the conversation here. So
friend,
yeah,
debatable
acquaintances.
Yeah,
we really we're actually filming this separate, and we're gonna splice it together later.
Yes.
So Joey,
we're actually edited in halfway here.
I was in his wedding.
We are friends. We promise.
Now, having kind of gone over that rough outline there, guys, we really just want to reiterate that we're just doing this for fun. We're obviously not professionals.
Notice the setup.
Look, I would say we have 100% quality sound studio, right? No, but seriously, notice the setup. If you guys have any tips or tricks, just let us know.
Yep.
Shoot us a comment, send us an email.
I guess we'll put our email on the link of this or the bio.
Yeah,
of this
we'll put in our little video.
Yeah.
Mom, you can text me.
Yeah, Mom, you
great.
can. So
Grandma, you can call me. I don't know if you know how to text yet, but, friends and family.
Yeah,
I mean it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
So.
And as well, I wanted to point out too that not every show necessarily is going to look just like this. We're not going to necessarily do the whole camera audio setup every time. Maybe not most times, but every now and again it will just be an audio portion. But we'll still upload that to YouTube and podcast on the Apple App Store. We'll do the podcast app through there. But
yeah, so the reason we'll be doing that is because we're very busy people. We both have full-time jobs. Unfortunately for us, we can't be content creators at a full-time job. We're not there, obviously, as you can tell.
Oh yeah, no one's seen this yet, so
exactly. No one's even seen this video in the future. No, but yeah, so we both have full-time jobs. So if we don't have a chance to make a video every week, we're at least going to do the part where we have audio.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try to upload at the very least bi-weekly. I kind of want to get consistent with it. So you guys can look forward to a Less Than Stellar podcast, for at least every 2 weeks. Eventually we'd love to get to every week.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, other than that, I mean, if this somehow reaches, more than a handful of people, if you, the whole premise of this is to just talk about movies, in a way as if they just came out. We're going to sit and debate a movie that came out in 2001 as if it just came out last week. That's if there is something out there that you would like to hear that kind of conversation with and just kind of joking back and forth and some serious points, just let us know. Like I said, you can leave a comment. You can absolutely send us an email. We'll put both of our emails in there. And yeah, we'll definitely hit some of those if anybody has any specific ones you want to see.
Exactly. We are open to suggestions now.
Yep.
I think that's all we have.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it. Like I said, we'll have this in the App Store for Apple because we have no idea how to upload anywhere else. And that'll be pretty much our two places here, YouTube, and as well the podcast app on Apple.
So guys, thanks for joining us on this journey. And
if you made it this long, tell me. If you made it this long, leave a comment and say I made it to the end of this video.
The secret word, Croatoan.
I'm not sure. Let's go with
Space Wizard.
Space Wizard.
That's the secret word.
Secret word.
There you go. So if you made it this far, comment Space Wizard, please. Why are we doing this on our very first video? That's because who we are. We're two Less Than Stellar guys, and welcome to our Less Than Stellar podcast. Thank you.
Goodbye.